But I'm trying to say that as a real estate agent and foreclosure deals coach, part of my job is advisor, right? And as an advisor, I am here to help you to make the right decision, not the one that gets me a commission the fastest. I don't think that most real estate agents can even afford to feel that way right now. I feel bad for the retail buyer's agent. A lot of them are my friends. I've got a lot of friends who've been real estate agents for years who are suffering right now because they simply cannot find deals for their buyers. They can't find houses.
Check, 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house. Buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donnie Corum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I am your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donnie Corum. Recording live from our studios with my executive producer and all-around badass, Mr. Jonathan Winston. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I think I might have mentioned it. Still got a little bit of vacation glow on me, but I've been enjoying the NBA playoffs. They're just getting started. So, my Lakers are looking to run that back and get a repeat going. We got a lot of monsters over there in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie and Harden and all those people. So just enjoying the games each night and, stacking some real estate work on top of it.
Yeah, and costing us listeners. I think there are people that tune out as soon as they hear that you're a Lakers fan.
I would tune it out too if all the gleam from my rings was blinding me out. It's got to be pretty hard, man. 17 times.
All right, let's just not go down that. It's a dangerous battle. All right, let's get to it. So this week on the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, we're going to be talking about an article from Realtor Magazine discussing that buyer regret isn't plaguing most recent purchasers. And now it's story time.
Ooh, okay.
So many years ago, I bought my first house. Now, I've been on this deal tip since I was a pretty young dude. I'm 26 years old. I got a girlfriend. We're having a kid, right? And I'm going to go buy myself a deal. So I find a property, looks like it needs some work. I've already kind of started researching, investing in real estate, and I find a house for $150,000 in a northeast neighborhood in Colorado Springs, Colorado, right? So I set an appointment with an agent to go see the property, and I'm walking you through this because I'm guessing that most buyers are following a very similar procedure, okay? But my story does not end as well as it should because I did not stick to my guns. And I'm certainly hoping you, as the listener to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, will not follow my footsteps here, okay? So we go check out this property. Now, I've done my homework from limited amount I know about investment and et cetera, but I have seen that properties in this neighborhood are going for $190 to $195. Now, this tells you how long ago this was, okay? Because you can't buy a closet in Colorado Springs for $195 right now. So we walk into the property, the floor, I remember the flooring like it was yesterday. It's peeling up from the side, right? The lino was peeling up from the side. The carpet was pretty badly stained. It was painted some pretty crazy colors. And the realtor is kind of shaking his head and going, I don't know, man, this thing needs a lot of work. And my girlfriend, now ex-wife, she's of course agreeing with him. I just don't think we can do this. This is a lot. I'm going, man, this is flooring. Like, I don't know anything about flooring, but I'm pretty sure I can buy flooring. Like, I've seen it at Home Depot, right? I think we replace the flooring. I think we can fix this house up. Right. And so I'm pushing in that direction. We don't end up buying that house. We end up, passing on that one. And I go, end up looking at a new build. So we're standing in the new build office, and the new build salesmen, which are, they're good now, but they were damn good back then. And they go, we got this house. It's a lot smaller than that remodel. y'all were looking at before, but it's $163,000, brand new. I'm like, no, I don't want to buy new. It's like buying a new car. It feels good, but it's a bad investment. That other house is worth 50 grand more than we're paying for it. I just got to fix it up. We're going to do the other one. They go, well, I get it. But if you buy this one, we'll let you pick the color of the carpet.
Oh my goodness.
My girlfriend melts. We could pick the carpet. Oh, we got to pick the carpet.
We were going to pick carpet when we fixed up the, okay.
We're going to pick the carpet at the other house. So we ended up signing the deal on the new build. So I buy it. And I tried to enjoy it. Okay. I wrapped the property, the front door. I bought this giant, think of it more like wrapping paper, but I put ribbon in a bow on the front door, garage door of the house. And I put to my ex from Donnie, congrats on your new home. Right. So the builder took a picture of it. It was a big deal. It felt nice to buy a new build. Okay. We sold that property many years later for like $210,000, 50 grand gain. Okay. That property I bought for 150 is in a neighborhood that's going for 425 to 450 now. Okay. And my point of sharing that with you is the article's talking about how buyer regret is not plaguing most recent purchases. Most people, when surveyed, are super happy with their purchase decision. And I got to be honest with you, that confuses me a little bit. Okay. Because when you severely overpaid for a property, as pretty much everybody buying retail, have you heard about this thing called appraisal gaps? Well, if you haven't, you're going to right now. Okay. So you buy a property. We just had one go under contract for $365,000. It was listed at what it was worth, which was $350,000. Okay. But they had to have the property. And I got to be frank with you, right? I don't approve of the appraisal gap thing, but I'm also not going to turn down the money. You feel me? So comes in under contract, $365,000. I'm like, all right. It's not going to appraise for that. So what are you guys going to do when this doesn't come in at the appraisal? Well, we'll do an appraisal gap of $5,000, over whatever the appraisal comes back at, right? Whatever, your thing. Okay. So we go under contract, appraisal comes in, wait for it, $350,000. Now, how did I know that? Because I'm an appraiser. I could have told, I'm sorry, I could have told you what was going to come in. And I misspoke a little bit. Came back in at $355,000. Okay. So a little bit more than what we had asked for it, but in line with what I expected it to go. Right. They now have to pay $5,000 over that, or $360,000 for the property in order to get it. So we go back, say, all right, well, you were under contract at $365,000. Appraisal came in at $355,000. You $5,000 gap. You have the $5,000. Yes, we do. Cool. Okay. This article explains that buyer regret's not plaguing the market. I'm going to argue that it probably should be. Right. I think the day after you pay $15,000 over asking price for a property, the day after, you should not be celebrating. You should be concerned. Right. And I'm sorry to rain on your moving into a new house parade. Far be it for me to be negative about this, but if you overpaid by 20 grand for your Honda Accord, would you be celebrating that?
Heck no.
Nope. Okay. Unless you are independently wealthy. Okay. And I got to tell you, we just bought a new condo in downtown Colorado Springs. I'm right on Tejon. My balcony opens up to this the busy street with all the bars and the restaurants of Colorado Springs, kind of our central hub of Colorado Springs. It's an awesome condo. I'm going to argue that I overpaid a little bit for that condo. Okay. I'm going to argue that it's probably worth $600,000 and I paid $640,000, but I'm also in a position where I bought deals to build my real estate empire, and I can overpay for stuff if I want to. Okay. Am I saying it's a good idea? No. I'm saying I'm at a different place financially in life than most first-time home buyers. Okay. So if you're a first-time home buyer, if you are just starting to build your real estate portfolio, you should only be buying deals. And what is a deal? Well, in the story I told you, a deal is a property I should have bought when I got suckered into buying that new build. And I'm not upset. I also wasn't feeling buyer's remorse when I moved into my new house and I bought my big screen TV and I'm sitting in my living room like, yeah, this is cool. Fast forward 10 years, I'm experiencing a lot of buyer's regret. Okay. And what I'm trying to tell you guys, the deal hunter, this show, is don't make that mistake. Okay. Time went on. I bought a deal after that, and then I've bought hundreds of deals since then. But my point is, you got to look at the house as not a place to live, to raise your family, but rather the most powerful wealth building tool available to you, period. Okay. It used to be the two ways to build wealth in this country were the stock market and real estate. Those were the two primary ways. I wouldn't bet my money on the stock market right now if I were you. But real estate seems to be doing fine. Are we overinflated? Absolutely. Are property values going to go down? Absolutely. Just the question is when. So let's ask ourselves, okay, if we fast forward 2 years from today and I prove to be correct, okay, that we're going to enter a foreclosure market, property values are going to start to depreciate a little bit. I'm not talking about massive crisis in 2 years. That comes later, okay? I'm talking about a correction. Okay, now corrections vary, but the last big correction we all know, if you've been around long enough, was 2008, 2009. At the peak of that correction, the market in Colorado Springs anyway dipped about 12%. Okay, other markets didn't fare so well. San Diego saw 30, 40%. Las Vegas, 30, 40%. New York, in certain places, almost 50%. You can see it go down by 50%. Okay, Phoenix saw massive hits, 30, 35% reductions. Okay, Colorado, though, relatively well insulated. Why? Well, we just did a previous show on VA buyers. And how they drive the market quite a bit with their zero down loans and really low interest rates, one of the best programs available out there. And because we're such a heavy military town, we're not going to see that massive hit. But my point is we are going to see a hit. Okay. But if your house has been going up by 6 to 12% a year for 3 years prior to that hit, so your $300,000 house is now worth $400,000, $450,000. Okay. And it goes down by 12% to $380,000. Do you care that much? Nope. On the flip side of that, if you overpay by 10, 15 grand, which is very common in this current retail market, and it goes down by 12, so you already overpaid by 4 or 5, maybe 10%. Okay. It goes up for 1 year and then drops off the map 12% the year following. You might be in a bit of trouble, right? So if you're over leveraging yourself in this market and falling into the appraisal gap thing and overpaying for property, I got news for you. It's going to be a rough run. On the flip side of that, if you can look at the market as a whole and go, you can still buy a house, you probably should buy a house. I will argue that we're going to see 2 more solid years of massive appreciation before this thing starts to fade. You should buy a deal, though. And deals are not easy to come by, but they're out there. And if you can't buy a deal, I'm going to retract my first statement and say you might not buy a house right now. Maybe you should rent. Okay? Seems kind of nuts that a foreclosure deals coach would be advising renting as opposed to home ownership. But I got to be frank with you. There's a time and place for everything. Okay? And the time to buy is not now. If you can't find a normally priced home, okay, forget, let's just remove the appraisal gap. Don't overpay. If you can't buy what the property is worth today, you should just not buy. Now, but Donnie, you just said you just overpaid for your condo. I did, but I could roll the equity from houses that I bought 10 years ago into that purchase to get the property I ultimately wanted. You're probably, if you're buying your first house, not buying your lifetime home. You're not buying your dream home right now. At least you shouldn't be. Okay. You should be working on building an empire that when you're ready to buy your dream home, you've got equity and income from the properties that you bought as deals earlier on that can now fund said dream home.
Hi, this is Donnie Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. One of the things we talk about on the show is the importance of great foreclosure data in helping you to find a great deal on a foreclosure property. But where do you find this data? You're certainly not going to find it on realtor.com. You can't get it on your local MLS. So we have partnered with data provider foreclosures.com to get you the latest and greatest in foreclosure listings right there in your local market. These properties are not hit the market in most cases, and when they have been foreclosed, gives you easy access to find out more detail so you can get the best deal on a foreclosure property. Getting started is super easy. Head on out to foreclosuredealscoach.com and click on the link labeled foreclosure list. Enter your zip code for a free 7-day trial of the best foreclosure listing data available in your local market. These properties are not even on the market yet, so you can get a jump on them and get a great deal. Once again, this is Donnie Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. We'll look forward to seeing you there.
Does that make sense? See, and that's not a popular statement, okay? What I'm talking about does not make people smile, especially real estate agents.
Yeah, what makes me smile is standing in front of that new build with the bow on the door. And like, I know I got that crushed alpaca, whatever color carpet in there. That's gonna hold me over, even though I paid $50,000 more than I probably should have for this house because lumber's expensive.
That's right. Right? Here's the thing. The lumber expense thing is going to go down. It's a market cycle, right? When? I don't know. Can you figure things out for 6 months? Well, Donnie, where am I going to live? I don't know. Is the next 6 months going to be worth a complete financial ruin to you and your family? Yeah, easy for me to say, right? I've got a place to house my family right now. Easy for me to say. I understand that. But I'm trying to say that as a real estate agent and foreclosure deals coach, part of my job is advisor, right? And as an advisor, I am here to help you to make the right decision, not the one that gets me a commission the fastest. I don't think that most real estate agents can even afford to feel that way right now. I feel bad for the retail buyer's agent. A lot of them are my friends. I've got a lot of friends who've been real estate agents for years who are suffering right now because they simply cannot find deals for their buyers. They can't find houses, right? It's a hard time to be a retail agent. But unfortunately, our job is supposed to be protect the consumer. And I'll be frank with you and say that if we don't protect the consumer, we will cease to have a job. There's going to be no reason to keep real estate agents in activity if the only thing they do is make money for themselves. Kind of harsh, right?
It makes sense, though.
There is good news. I don't want to be all doom and gloom today, okay? Things are going to get better. How? I don't know. The thing about market cycles is you can't really predict them, right? You can only, like watching a stock chart. To some degree, you can watch the ebb and flow of a stock chart, and to some degree, you've got an idea on what it's going to do next, right? And if you're really good at analyzing stock charts, you can increase your probability of success. I happen to be really good at analyzing the real estate market. I've been at it for 15 years. I coach people on how to analyze the real estate market. I understand the ebbs and flows of it better than most people. I'm not bragging. I'm just good. Okay, this is what I've dedicated my career to. And I can tell you as an analyst of the real estate market, this is going to turn around. I don't know when exactly. I just know it is going to turn around. And how is it going to turn around? Foreclosures are coming down the pipeline. They are proposing delaying it till 2022. I think that's really stupid. I think you want to allow for a slow ease into a reduced market. But if they decide to plug the hole, then what you're going to have is a flood. When you open up that valve again, you're going to create a flood. It is going to happen. I just can't tell you when. And for those who need to buy a home right now, if it doesn't make sense because you can't find it, you might either want to buy a deal, as in find a wholesale company. If you're in Colorado Springs, Colorado, or the Denver, Colorado area, this is what we do. We help people to find deals. Okay, reach out. I'd be happy to work with you. We are expanding into other markets as we speak, but right now our expertise and sales staff is primarily in the Colorado marketplace. So we can help you here. For other people in other markets, I don't want you to experience regret from popping your feet up on the couch in your new home. The regret I want you to feel is that if you overpaid, you may have just created your own financial suicide. And I just don't think we can encourage that. Okay. So the article's positives, like people who buy homes are super happy. It's from realtor.com. Okay. Do you think they're going to publish an article that says people who buy homes are really pissed about it the day after? Why would Realtor, the National Association of Realtors, why would they publish something like that? Okay. I'm not saying it's inaccurate information. I'm sure they surveyed a bunch of people, and I'm sure the majority of them, they surveyed. It says 70% of home buyers who purchased a home over the last year are satisfied with their decision to move. Of course they are.
It's only been a year, and the market
wouldn't have done it if they weren't. That doesn't mean it's smart.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Satisfaction not an indication of intelligence, right? You see, the thing about being a foreclosure deals coach, the hard part about my job is to get rid of the misinformation that you have been fed by the likes of Realtor.com, the National Association of Realtors, telling you, look, everybody else who bought a house is happy. You'll be happy too. Maybe. Right? Is that the benchmark that people who bought a home in the last year are happy? I can't. I got to laugh to keep from crying. I swear to you. I laugh to keep, because I am really, it was Mark Twain who said, "It ain't what you know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." And I want you to really think about that for a minute. Okay. What you believe you know about the real estate market, that things are doing well, that interest rates are low, that it's okay to overpay because there's a good shot that the market will catch up on this appraisal gap 6 to 12 months after you purchase a house. Here's the thing. The reality of that as it sits today is probably true, being frank with you. I don't think there's anything deceptive about that. My problem is, how will we know when it's no longer true? Is your crystal ball working? Mine's not working. So I'm not saying the function's not working today. I'm saying it's awful risky to base the largest financial investment you're going to make in your life off of the speculation that the market will continue to go up in value indefinitely. That's nuts. Nothing shy of insanity. Okay, so what is the solution? I beat you guys up a while. What is the solution? The solution is buy a deal. Did you see that coming before I said it?
I hope they did.
Okay, because if you buy a property under market and if the market goes down in value, you don't care. If you buy a property under market and it goes up in value, you do care, because now you've made money on that deal. If you buy several properties under market and they all go down in value, you don't care because you've got a rental income coming in. If you buy several properties under market and they go up in value, you've got more rental income and you've got wealth. When you buy a deal, no matter what the market does next, you're okay. When you buy a house, you're gambling. And you're gambling with your financial future, your family's financial future, your future ability to provide. If that house goes significantly down in market and you can't sell it, so you got to foreclose on that property. So now your credit's jacked up, and your credit's jacked up. You're going to have trouble renting an apartment. You're going to have trouble buying a car. Your insurance rates are going to go up. But if you buy below market, none of that stuff's going to happen to you. And if you can't buy below market, it's best to wait it out. Harsh reality, right?
We got to look at reality. And
So I'm
not
going to conclude with
speculation.
it. There you go. Because we're working off of reality. Because that's how you should make your investment choices. And a house, no matter if you're living in it or not, is an investment choice. Okay, it's the most powerful investment choice ever. You want proof of that? You can leverage a 3% down payment into a 97% financing ratio. Okay, they let you do that. Why are they doing that? Because they're investing on your failure. Like for them, it's no risk. You pay them, they make a bunch of interest on you. Life is good. You don't pay them, they get the house back, and they sell it for whatever market is at the time. Win-win. It's an investment choice. It's not a house. The only time it's a house is when you own it. You own it outright. You have no mortgage on it. At that point, it's your house. Prior to that, you're just playing Monopoly. You're using other people's money to do it, as you should. And if you're playing Monopoly accurately, you should be playing to win. Right? That's the game of life. No, Monopoly, but you get the idea. Right? So here on the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast, we don't, it's hard not to come across like Mr. Doom and Gloom all the time. Man, Donnie, that was a really happy article about buyer regret isn't plaguing most recent purchasers. It's from realtor.com. Come on. What industry is going to tell you, hey, people who bought insurance right afterwards are like, man, I wish I hadn't bought that insurance. I don't think you're going to see that on a Progressive website. And I'm pretty sure Realtor Magazine has no interest in telling you the reality of the times today. The industry is suffering. They don't have houses to sell. So of course, they're going to publish articles that indicate that there's no remorse in buying property in order to incentivize people to go buy property in a clearly overpriced market. Now, as a guy who's selling houses, you would think I want people to continue to buy houses. I do. I just want them to pay what they're worth. But if you insist on overpaying, I'm not going to stop you. All right. Are we having fun yet?
We can only present the information, man. What you do with it is what you do with it. We're just here to make sure you guys know what's going on.
Listen, guys, the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I love this profession. I love what I do. Okay. I love the fact that, and I'll be frank with you, not the part of the white picket fence and that backyard for the kids. Doesn't interest me in the slightest. I'm sorry. I love my kids. Okay. I love backyard barbecues. I love what I do because I have single-handedly created now over 6 millionaires. People who have taken my advice, whether they were buying retail to live in the property or they were buying investment properties, and now they're millionaires. That's the part I love. And when I see the outside retail market that's being encouraged by a relatively uninformed industry, I don't think they're malicious in intent. Okay. I don't think Realtor Magazine is trying to scam anybody. Okay. They're just relatively uninformed. When I see that happening, it upsets me. I need to debunk some of these myths right now. Okay. It is not necessarily a good time to buy unless you can find a deal. If you cannot find a deal, you should just not buy a house right now. Rent for a while. Move in with your mom. Do something, but don't overpay. Just be part of the speculation. Warren Buffett once says the key to investing is to find out what everybody else is doing and doing the exact opposite. Everybody's buying. You know what you should be doing?
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Like our Facebook page, Foreclosure Deals Coach, for the latest in real estate and foreclosure investing. Become a part of our community. Search Foreclosure Deals Coach on Facebook to join today.
$300,000 more would have added to my net worth if I had bought and kept that property. That's enough to buy another house. But instead, I bought a new build. I don't want you to make the same mistake. Okay. So with that, I'd like to try to find a high note to end this on. Jay, give me something positive.
It's 76 and sunny outside, and I just saw a girl in a nice sports bra run by my.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so with that, this is Donnie, your foreclosure deals coach, thanking you yet again for tuning in and getting the real deal on the real estate marketplace. I'm your host, Donnie Corum, reminding you once again, don't buy a house, buy a deal.